Welcome back to Sobha The Living Room. In this episode, we're bringing the last 4 episodes together, a curated recap of the 4 defining conversations that helped shape Season 1 so far. Over the last 4 episodes, we've explored why, beyond the iconic skylines and architectural marvels, the UAE has community at its heart. We've looked at how the city is building neighborhoods where families can truly grow and thrive. Joined by 4 insightful guests, we've shone a light on the visionary minds, pivotal market shifts, and personal stories that show how Dubai and the UAE continue to redefine modern living. So whether you've been with us from the start or are just tuning in, this is your chance to relive epic conversations, key insights, and unforgettable highlights that define the last 4 episodes. Khaldoon Shindi, General Manager of Real Estate Masters and a true expert in the UAE property scene, brought some really down-to-earth insights to episode 5. We chatted about how the UAE has become a global hotspot for luxury living and how the whole idea of home has changed since COVID hit. This episode was really interesting as it shed light on how trust between developers, brokers, and buyers is a big deal, along with the rise of daily luxury and homes that really show off your personality. When you think, or when I say UAE living, what comes to mind for you? Just give me descriptive words. When it comes to UAE living, what comes to mind?
Safety is number 1. Opportunities, the ease of living, the services, and the quality. I think these are the main pillars when you talk about living in the UAE. For me, these are the main pillars. Safety is number 1. Up to date, I never locked my door in the house. Never. Safe. Nobody can do anything. Nobody has the courage to do anything. And the quality of people that they have in the country, I'm sorry, you don't have burglars here. You have people who are here to work, to follow their dreams, to create opportunities, and to make it happen.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think that when we're speaking about, I guess, the nucleus of community, it is the home.
Yes.
It is where people are. It is where you feel that foundation, that base, where you plant your roots. And I think that that is so important. And even the evolution of home has changed so much over the years, ever since even you came here 25 years ago, and COVID also being such a shift during that time.
Yes.
How has the meaning of home changed for you over the last 25 years?
To be very honest, the first thing that comes to my mind when you say home, this is home for me. UAE became home. It is home. I mean, we fly, and I'm sure that many of us go through the same thing. We go on vacations. We love it. The first few days, we're enjoying. The moment you start seeing the lights of the UAE in the plane, when you are ascending, oh my God, you're like, okay, I'm back home.
Yeah.
I'm back home. So this is home, basically. This is where my friends are. This is where the family is. This is where work is. This is where opportunities are also. So for me, Dubai is home.
I think a lot of people have had different experiences with Dubai. A lot of people have come here for a year or 2, left, had a great experience. Some people have quite literally ended up here like yourself.
True.
For a quarter of a century, really planted their roots here, launched businesses here. Some people have had families here. We've had on the show so far. It shows that where you live and where your home is truly designed to fit around your lifestyle now.
Absolutely.
And now people are really conscious of that. Have you seen that?
Absolutely. And you mentioned something, COVID, for example, the transition, the change in the mindset after COVID was very interesting. Those who used to live in a studio are like, no, I want to live in a 1-bedroom now. It's too much. I need a balcony. People with family, for example, who used to live in an apartment, they're like, no, I need to have a garden. So I need a townhouse or I need a villa. So the whole mindset of even end users, and not only investors, end users, because 25 years ago, it was less families in the UAE. And I still remember when we used to go to a mall and see a stroller with a baby, we're like, oh my God, there's families here.
Yeah.
We didn't see them. It was more of a bachelor's city, especially Dubai, let's say. Now it's families, it's home. People are bringing their parents to live here now. So this really became home. So yes, it changed big time.
Do you think there's evolving expectations of residents now, especially when it comes to the space of home and living? And do you think developers are in touch with that?
We want everything.
Yeah, we do.
We want everything. Investors in the UAE have high expectations. We're spoiled. We as residents are spoiled. Again, we travel, and if we don't stay in a 5-star luxury hotel, we go like, oh, but in Dubai or in the UAE, it's different. It has set the benchmark really, really high. So everybody expects the best in the UAE. Home is not just a house. For them, home is how close is it from the nearest hospital? How far is it from the airport? I need a big plot. I need all rooms to be en suite. I need maid's room and I need a driver's room. Because I'm sorry, at the end of the day, in the UAE, these things are possible. You can have a house helper, you can have a driver. It is there.
Yeah.
So expectations are really high. I think expectations became higher at the moment.
But I do feel like those expectations are being catered to more and more so. There is something there for everyone. If you want to be around nature and you want to be around greenery, you have that option. If you want a more family-based community with a lot of parks and playgrounds, you have that option. If you want a golf course, you have that option. There is something there for absolutely everyone, but it's also in the little details. And I think that this is where we're redefining luxury. Because originally, luxury used to be opulence.
True.
Which it still is in many places across Dubai, but particularly the detail in daily luxury, which I think is now what more and more people, especially the upcoming generation, are looking towards. Have you seen a rise in that kind of focus?
Absolutely. And I'll make you laugh because while you were talking, I could see the S in front of me. That S in gold.
Yeah.
Yes, they are listening. And yes, they are catering to the expectations of the clients. They are changing. They are modifying. And I believe when it comes, if we're talking about real estate in specific, when you talk to the big tycoons in the market, when you talk about the tier 1 developers, they have the power to put in the market anything, and it will be bought. People will still buy because, if you, whoever it is, one of the tier 1. The difference is when you listen to the investors and to the clients, what they want, and with time, you cater for it.
Yeah.
This time you have increased the size of the 1-bedroom. This time you have created a golf area in a building, for example, which is exceptional. This time you have more of standalone villas. So yes, back to that S shining in front of me, this is what's happening.
You see, it's so important because even as an investor, someone, myself, who is always looking to, work with the best developers and more for long-term reasons, but that trust factor is so important, isn't it? That can I trust this person or this developer to actually create something that they say they're going to create? I mean, Sobha themselves have these showrooms where you can actually walk through and feel the material that is going to be in your apartment.
100%.
That is the same material. This is the detail of luxury. In episode 6, we had an incredible chat with Kavita Srinivasan, former editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan Middle East, now a parenting coach and trauma counselor, about whether Dubai really works for families. And spoiler, it does, in more ways than you'd expect. We explored how community and connection are key to parenting and well-being, and how the UAE has grown into a place where families are truly putting down roots. Kavita shared insights on thoughtful neighborhood design, like easy access to nurseries, clinics, and green spaces, and the growing shift towards slower, more conscious living that balances tech with real human connection. And one of my favorite parts, some really practical, down-to-earth ideas for creating connectors in communities. Those little things that make it easier to break the ice, feel included, and truly belong. In this clip of episode 6, we look into how Dubai has made that powerful shift from a transient city to a place families proudly call home. The solo mindset of just coming over here, working, and just head down, the hustle. Now people are, their heads lifted up a bit. They're looking around. They're connecting around them. You can feel that in the energy here.
Yes, and I really, really am glad. Because as the world progresses and we see AI and, the digital world becoming such a medium of connection, I see people craving that human touch.
Yeah.
The more and more it is normalized to not meet, the more people want to meet. The more and more it's normalized to not connect with each other. And, like you're on Zoom all the time.
Yeah.
The connection factor has become really paramount, which I think is wonderful, And I see that a lot with parents, with children, with families, people are hungry to meet each other and to really like have that compassion and empathy with people who are going through the same things that you're going through. It's really at the forefront now.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say specifically, I feel like COVID is always a reference point to so many of us as a period of time. But after COVID, I think there was an absolute mindset shift on how important it is, the infrastructure around you, where you live, who you're around, the space in which you're at, the lifestyle that is provided in where you're living. During that time, I was staying in a Sobha community, and you could really feel people come together. You could feel the pull together, people going out onto their balconies to, clap in the evening for all of the frontline workers.
Yeah.
You could feel, for once, the community coming together. How important is that in a decision or choice people make in the community that they live in, that they choose to move into, whether that's as an individual, working professional, or whether that's with family, whether that's with children? Where do you think that mindset has shifted, and how important is it in this day and age?
Well, the home became very important. I mean, COVID had its negatives. There's been so much pain. But I think one of the ways in which the world changed, which I feel it needed to, is to make the home the center of your life again. So where you live, who you're surrounded with, how much time you spend in your home, who do you invite into your home, and also relationships, right?
Yeah.
Who do you choose to spend time with? Who do you want to spend time with? And I feel like a lot of people got very close during COVID. Like there were little mini bubbles that came up, and very much so with the people who are your neighbors, who you wouldn't ordinarily take the time to speak with. And now you realize that these neighbors are so important.
Yeah.
Really, I wouldn't make the effort to get to know my neighbors, but now I make an effort, because you realize that this bubble that you live in could be your world, and it's a safe space where you don't have to really leave your nest.
Yeah.
And your nest expands to include the people who live around you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really beautiful way in which our attention and perspective has shifted.
And on that, I think the people first design is very important.
Yes.
When I say that, I mean that these intentional spaces that are now being created all over Dubai. You had mentioned earlier, there is now, nurseries in your space.
Yes.
There is your favorite places to eat. There's your grocery store. You really don't have to leave.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody listening right now who maybe potentially has never even lived in Dubai and the UAE, and it seems like this far off dream, the reality is it really is what people say it is. Myself and Kavita are living proof of that,
Yes. Yeah.
But also secondly, what are the pluses when it comes to the personal development side of things? Living here in Dubai, moving here to Dubai, that kind of space that you're in, what it really adds value to you as an individual.
You know, I used to live in New York, and I was in my 20s, and then when I used to visit Dubai a lot because my friend lives here, and what I love about Dubai, which has not changed despite it growing, despite so many people moving here, is that element of safety. You know, there are many metropolitan cities in the world where you can have great careers, you can thrive, you can start a business. Of course, Dubai does that really well, right? But what I find really special about Dubai, if you had to tell me what is the one thing about Dubai that really stands out, it's the safety. It is so powerful in a world that is quickly becoming unpredictable. There is this safety element here, which is wonderful. And the country, the government, the policies, they really go out of their way to make you feel like you are in a safe place. There is no place in the world that I would let my child go to a shop and check out something on his own. No place. Like, I was sitting in a cafe the other day with a friend, and I said, you know, and he was like, can I go check out that book? And I was like, yeah, go take a look and come back. There is no other place in the world I would do that.
In episode 7 of Sobha The Living Room, I sat down with Peggy Lee, founder of SPS Affinity and a leading voice in hospitality and F&B strategy. Peggy brought such a fresh perspective on how Dubai has evolved into a city where people aren't just passing through anymore. They're building real lives, even legacies. One of the big themes we got into was how the concept of home is changing here. The UAE has gone from being a transient hub to a place where people actually want to settle down, raise families, and stay long-term. And with that shift, the definition of luxury is changing too. It's no longer just about glitz and glam, but about comfort, ease, wellness, and smart, sustainable living. In this clip from the episode, Peggy and I talk about how elements of luxury hotel living are now being brought into everyday home life. From high-end interiors to thoughtful layouts, there's this real rise in hybrid homes, spaces that blend work, family time, and moments of connection. It's all about creating environments that feel both elevated and deeply livable. We touched on this before we were recording, which was your location and where you chose to live was very much surrounded and based on the children and their schooling. And one thing that Dubai is phenomenal for is their premium education, their premium schooling, private healthcare, you know, those kind of standards, curated retail experiences, restaurant experiences. Talk to me about that aspect of life, of choosing where you live based on, you know, your children and your family and convenience for schooling, because traffic being another conversation that you mentioned, this is a lot of things that now people are basing their decisions on when it comes to choosing where their home is.
It is, because the thing is, I think there are certain things we would willing to compromise. There are certain things that you know is non-compromisable. So when you are people like us who are like a family of 4 and the children timeline doesn't compromise, whereas you as adult, you can still shift. And especially we're the ones that who are having to jet around the region for work on a regular basis, where you live, and that's when it's even harder to compromise, because you want your helper and your driver to know where to take whom to what, when, where, how, right? And in that extent is the accessibility for the household become a priority than of the personal priority. And I think a lot of people also decided to do, because of post-COVID, we're now starting to have the flexi work hours.
Yes.
So a lot of us will have the time to work from home. I mean, I do that. I do a kind of 50-50 thing. So because of that, the whole environment and the comfort within your home become even more important, because it's not only a home anymore, it's an office. And some people nowadays got to the point that they get so fed up to try to fight to an office because of the parking, everything.
Yeah.
I ended up a lot of times going to, it's like, you know what, I'm working from home today. Why don't you come over to my house for a cup of coffee? I'll make you a light lunch. So now the home has then evolved to a meeting space even. So So now the accessibility is not only for you, it's not only for the household, it's for other people to come to your house.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important when you're in a accessible community that people know that they can easily just pick up the phone. Hey, are you home? I want to drop by. Is that okay? Or I want to drop something off to you. So it has evolved to that point.
Yeah.
So that's why, I was having this conversation with a developer the other day. I said, how are we seeing the evolution of office blocks? That will be the next conversation of how this is going to evolve in Dubai more than anything else, because of this new trend of the home working or the shall we say the dual working balance.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point to make. And I think what came to mind then as you were saying that was functional homes as well, ensuring it's a space where you feel comfortable to relax and be, but also where you can feel inspired and where you can get work done and where you can be productive is so important for these kind of flexible roles that a lot of us play in this day and age. I think another thing that we when we speak about luxury living, when we speak about intentional living and, the culture and the soul of this city, a huge initiative over the last however many years has been how sustainable living is incredibly important. That has been at the forefront for the government, for our leadership, for our developers who are now understanding that is also a priority to many, many people. When it comes to that sustainability and again, back to the wellness design, would you consider that luxury living? Does it shift more towards the smart and the tech living that now everybody is a lot more focused on?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
So when we look at a living space, we need to break it down to a lot of things, your AC, your lighting. The thing that we always talk about in Dubai, especially us ladies with the hairs, is the water.
Yes.
It's a very important factor. So the thing is, the sustainability, it has to at least facilitate those 4 points that we talk about, because it's about the air quality, it's the filtration, the temperature. But how much more sustainability can we go on in an apartment or in villa is easier because, you can have solar panel, etc., to help to offset some of the electrical consumption or however else. But in an apartment, how do you do it? So I think this is a thing that I'm seeing a lot of developers that looking at how they utilize the different new technology there to come up with more sustainable and more longevity in terms of how do we prolong this whole recycling process, etc. And yes, it does touch up on the smart living, because the smart living is how to maximize the usage yet preserve the energy when it's not being used. And I think this is something that is of a definition of sustainability, and how I see it is when it's not being used, could we switch it off? If not, how do we prolong and let it run longer in the lowest possible way? But when we need to use it, is how do we use the saved up energy to then not having to push the generator too far?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point to make. And I think that there's still some, weeds to be pulled out as of yet, but I feel like it's going in the right direction in terms of people's focus, and especially the way the government is moving and the initiatives that are being started here. In episode 8 of Sobha The Living Room, we had a fantastic chat with Kurat Al Ain, the powerhouse co-founder of Dre Real Estate and a real trailblazer in the UAE's fast-paced property scene. Kurat opened up about how design isn't just about looks, but a reflection of lifestyle and values, and why women are stepping up big time to shape the way homes are built and lived in. It was such an inspiring conversation about the future of real estate and the fresh perspectives that women are bringing to the table. In this clip of episode 8, Kurat and I discuss the icon that is the UAE, but it goes so much deeper than just impressive skylines and landmarks. It's about the stories, values, and people shaping the heart and soul of the nation. The UAE's architectural identity. It is so iconic. The UAE skyline, it is noticed around the world. What do you think makes the UAE architectural approach so unique compared to the rest of the world?
UAE's architecture has always been way ahead of its time. It signifies the preferences and the lifestyle for its investors and end users. If you look at the integrated communities, they are second to none. The amenities they have, mosques, cinemas, or even wellness, it's at its best. No matter, UAE today is a magnet for its end users and investors from across the globe. While all this is happening, but UAE still is very close to its roots, be it the architecture, be it the family values. They are very deeply rooted.
So Kurat, as a woman who's advising clients every single day, do you notice female buyers in particular responding differently when it comes to the design approach? Materials, layouts, or design philosophies. Is that something that you've noticed?
Women play a very important role in the decision making, even if an investor or a client is coming for buying a house. They always say this, I want to ask my wife, right? So I think this is very, very important, because a woman gets into the details of how she wants her kitchen, how she wants her bedroom, how she wants her kids' closet. So I think woman plays a very, very important role in making a decision for buying a home or even a second home.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess women have that knack and that ability for taste. And I guess that's where the quality really comes in of
If
design.
you can see that there are even more women buyers right now in the market. I think, if I'm not wrong, there are around 33% of women who own properties as of today, and out of which 25% are local UAE Emiratis.
So Kurat, what you just mentioned, which was females, an increase in females now advising people to purchase properties. What's a really important part, especially, I would say as a female who is increasing her portfolio, having a relationship with another female in the real estate industry, I feel I can trust females more. There is that kind of female factor. Is that something that is apparent in the industry?
I think all the men would not want to hear that, but yes, it plays a very, very, very crucial role. As women, we do tend to get into detailing of everything, whether it's buying a couch or setting up your kitchen.
In episodes 5 through to 8 of Sobha The Living Room, we dug into the UAE as way more than just a luxury hotspot. It's a place where families are really building lives and making homes. These chats gave us a peek into the scale, the speed, and the spirit behind how the property scene here is changing fast. We covered everything from big trends to personal stories of family life in the UAE. We hope this series helps you get what it really means to invest in, contribute to, and believe in this amazing country. If any episode stuck with you, go back and give it another listen. And if this little recap got you curious, you'll find links to all the full episodes in the show notes. Don't forget to hit follow, leave a review, and share with anyone who's keen to know what's next for real estate in the Middle East. I'm Nimi Mehta, and this is Sobha The Living Room.